Welcome to NJP Online Mathematics. Let's solve this lovely Olympiad problem we see here. So for us to solve this lovely Olympiad problem, we have to determine the value for the whole of this expression. Then we substitute it here so that we can find the integral of the upper limit 2 and the lower limit 1 of it. So let's give the solution to this problem. Let's solve this problem. So for us to solve it, we have to let the root, the whole root of 90 plus the 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 root of 90 as it continues to infinity, that this equals x. We are taking x because here we have the x, so that's the reason why we are taking x there. So we let this whole expression to be equal to x. So this now becomes our first equation. So from this, we are now having in the general equation that the integral of 2, upper limit 2 and the lower limit 1, here now we substitute x in place of the whole expression in there, and we are now having x dx. So this is what we have obtained. So from here, from equation 1, we are having that root 90 plus the root 90 plus the root of 90 plus the root of 90 plus the root of 90 plus, as it continues to infinity, that this equals x. This is what we have obtained from the first equation. So we have to square both sides of the equation, and if we square both sides of the equation, this will cancel this out and we are left with 90 plus the root of 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 90 plus, as it continues to infinity, equals x squared. So here we can see that we have the whole of this expression, and this expression in equation 1 equals x. So we have to substitute x in place of this whole equation. So we are now having 90 plus x equals x squared. So this now becomes x squared minus x minus 90 equals 0. So we can now see, so we have to determine the factors to solve this quadratic equation here, and for us to do that, the factors there, we have to multiply x squared by 90. So if we multiply x squared by 90, we are having 90x squared. So we have to take the factor here. So if we take the factor, we know 2 is a factor, and we have 45x squared, and 3 is a factor, and we will be left with 15x squared, and 3 is another factor, as well as 5 is a factor. So finally, we have determined the factors here. So we now will find the two factors that when we add them, we are going to have minus x, that is a sign of minus 1, and when we multiply, we are going to have minus 90. So for us to do that, we have to multiply this each. So we see we have 2 multiplied by 5 and x. So we are now going to multiply them, and if we multiply them, we are going to have 10x, and this, if we multiply it here, we are having 9x. So for us to have a minus 1, the greater number, we have the negative sign, and if we add this, we are going to have minus x, and this is what is here. And if we multiply minus 10 by 9, we are going to have minus 90. So we are going to substitute this here, the whole of this here. So if we substitute it here, we are having x squared minus 10x plus 9x minus 90 equals 0. So we have to group them, and if we group them, we take the common factor x, and we'll be having x minus 10, bring the sign, and the common factor here is 9, and we're having x minus 10 equals 0. So from factorization, we now have that x minus 10 and x plus 9 equals 0. Therefore, x minus 10 equals 0, or x plus 9 equals 0. Therefore, x equals 10 from the first equation, or x equals minus 9. So we now see that the whole root of this cannot be equal to a minus 9. Therefore, this is an extraneous root which will not satisfy this equation, and x equals 10 is the answer and the root of this. So we'll now substitute it to this point where we have x. So we are now having the integral of the upper limit 2 to the lower limit 1, 10 dx. So from the knowledge of integration, we are now going to have 10 to the integral of 2, upper limit 2 and the lower limit 1 dx, and this now becomes 10 integral of the upper limit 2 to the lower limit 1 x raised to the power of 0 dx. We know that what is here is 1, and we've just applied the law of indices here. So we are now having 10 x raised to the power of 0 plus 1, or divided by 0 plus 1, 2 and 1. So this becomes 10x to upper limit 1 and 2. So we now substitute them. We are having 10 into 2 minus 1, which is 10 times 1, which equals 10. Therefore, the value, the integral to the upper limit 2, the lower limit 1 of this whole expression dx is 10. Thank you for watching. Kindly like and subscribe.